Thank you, Joseph. Great presentation. Make a great judge. Mr. Art Rossi is a candidate for the office of Judge of the 37th District Court. He is board certified in family, in which he has practiced for over 30 years. He is also licensed as a certified public accountant. He is a member of the board of the San Antonio Family Lawyers Association. He is married and has 3 children. Would you please welcome next judge, Art Rossi.
Thank you. Well, I know it's hot. I've been sitting out there with you for part of the time, so I am going to be brief. My name is Art Rossi. I am running for the judge of the 37th District Court. It is the oldest civil district court in Bexar County, and what does it hear? It hears primarily family law cases. I believe my wife and daughter have been out handing out brochures. That will tell you a little about myself, about the court, and give you a quick summary of information you need about me. But why are we here? You're not here just to hear about me. You're not here just to hear about what the court I'm running for. You're not here just to hear that I'm qualified to run for that court, and perhaps the best qualified because it is a family law court. What you came down here to hear was people talk about freedom, religious freedom. A speaker who preceded me, Kevin O'Connell, borrowed from Braveheart, and I totally agree with that concept. We are elected to office not to give us benefits. We are elected to office to serve you. And what we have found is, in this particular instance, at one time in the United States, religion was part of public education. I don't think a lot of people realize it wasn't until 1948 in a Supreme Court decision that religion was actually part of the curriculum of many public schools. In fact, how did people find out where it was taught most frequently? Because they looked at the who was running the schools. A lot of times you had a Monsignor or a pastor or someone with a religious title. A lawsuit was filed in Illinois. It made its way to the Supreme Court, and in 1948, that court held and ruled that there must be a separation of church and state. We went from a constitutional provision that said there cannot be an official establishment of religion to pushing religion completely out of our schools. That has evolved all the way to the point where a lawsuit was filed 2 years ago to stop a young lady from even getting up and talking about what motivated her to become the valedictorian of her high school. That's how far we reached, and a local district court judge ruled that she could not get up and talk about Jesus Christ. Fortunately, the Court of Appeals overturned that, and she was granted her religious freedom to go forward and say her prayer. But it didn't stop there. What happened next? A lot of things, but the big one was the HHS mandate. What is the HHS mandate? The HHS mandate is not a formal law. It is part of the new Obamacare Act. What happened was, in the Obamacare Act, there are a lot of provisions that defer to the Department of Health and Human Services. And they say, you institute the regulations that define what is going to happen in implementing this law. So it's not even your congressional representatives that are doing this. They deferred to the president and to the executive branch of government and to specifically the Health and Human Services to enact mandates. And the mandate that they enacted that brought you here today requires institutions, employers, to provide health care coverage that includes free pregnancy termination options, free pregnancy prevention options, free options which violate the non-negotiables of the Catholic Church. Now, for many institutions, that's not an issue. But for the Catholic Church, it is an issue. It is an issue. It is a significant issue because it requires the Church to do something that is fundamentally in violation of the non-negotiable beliefs of this Church. And there is only one way that we can protect ourselves from this, and that is through the law, through the courts, through the legislature, through electing people to Congress and to various offices that will protect your religious freedom and stop the HHS mandate and laws and regulations of a similar type. Do you not agree with that? Okay. The time has come, and as one of my predecessor speakers pointed out, the time has come, and it is important for you to stand up and realize that 60 years ago, religion was part of our public education. And when we should have fought for it back then, we didn't. We let it go. And like the camel's nose under the tent, it got more and more and progressively worse until we reached today. So, as my predecessor speaker pointed out, the question is, are you going to stand up for religious freedom in 2012 and help elect good people to office who will adopt the policies that will provide you with that freedom? Is you going to do it? Let me end, I know it's hot, and I appreciate your patience, but let me end with part of a prayer that was said on the dedication of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in 1959. When the bishops dedicated the National Shrine, which is in Washington, D.C., they solemnly entrusted it to our country. And in part of that prayer, what the bishop said was, "Most Holy Trinity, we put the United States of America into the hands of Mary Immaculate in order that she may present the country to you. Through her, we wish to thank you for the great resources of this land and for the freedom which has been its heritage. Through the intercession of Mary, have mercy on the Catholic Church in America. Grant us peace. Have mercy on our President and all of the officers of our government. Grant us a fruitful economy born of justice and charity. Have mercy on capital and industry and labor. Protect the family life of the nation. Guard the precious gift of many religious vocations. Through the intercession of our Mother, have mercy on the sick, the poor, the tempted, sinners, on all who are in need." That was the prayer, part of the prayer, in the dedication of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. And I think it is a good prayer for today. Thank you for your time. Amen.